Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to A House of Many Doors. It's true, there's a whole bunch of them. Some of them don't even work on both sides. It's a very strange place. Alright, so, today, I don't remember what we were doing. This is what happens when I take a day off. I lost it all. Well, we may as well explore the ruin while we're here. This is a thing that we definitely already did, but we get to do again since we reloaded. Oh good, an indecipherable tome. And then we are out of here, right? Yeah, this is one of those settlements where there's not really a lot to do. It is interesting that saving and reloading in town reloads the options from the town that you're only allowed to do once per visit, but it didn't make our pets interactable again. I wonder why. I would have expected it to affect everything. That's very strange. All right, we have lots of stuff to do. I did update our log a little bit, the document that I'm keeping on the other screen, so hopefully it'll be easier for me to keep track of what we're doing. Okay, yeah, we have that stuff to do. We do it at some point have to ambush a consortium kinetopede. We still have to fight something else, too. Oh, the Priest of Anglecrab, that's right. Whew, lots of stuff to do. Alright, let's get to it. Now, one thing that I'm not 100% sure, I think we'll just go out north, because hey, we have to go north once and then west a bunch to hit that other spot, right? Oh no, actually we have to go north a couple of times. Well, we'll do a diagonal here for a minute. One thing that I'm not 100% clear on, I don't actually have a lot of our crew members noted in my log. The Kelp Fortress is nearby. Oh, I'm assuming... No, that's down here. Okay, interesting. We'll get that as we sweep back through. And then he drove into a huge rock. So we should probably check in with all the members of our crew and make sure that we're doing things for them. So let's start doing that. Delgado, we know what's up. Char, we know what's up. Are we done with Genevieve's thing? Hold on. Haunting Vision, what fun. Are we done with Genevieve's quest? Oh, did we never ask her about the City of Glass, really? Oh, she just knows something. Did I just really never ask her? We could have had a clue so long ago. I don't know how many clues we're gonna need. Ah, the City of Glass, Genevieve smiles wistfully. The Abstemi were wrong-footed by that. After the first disappearance, we infiltrated the Glass aristocracy. They were all in on it. It was all planned. And for the second disappearance, they were planning to hide where no one could look. But that's all our agents found out before they vanished along with the rest. So, we know it's still around. Some people totally do still know where it is. It's not really lost. Okay, that's interesting. I wonder if we just, assemble enough clues, I wonder if we'll have an epiphany or something. And yeah, I guess we're just done with her quest. Her current wounds should surely have proven fatal, but she seems only in minor pain. Listen, she's incredible. She's unbelievable. She cannot be stopped. And then, we have, of course... Your romance with Genevieve has just begun. Oh, maybe this has, I was just doing it to gain the romantic encounter, but maybe this has a whole plotline to it. This is the same text, though, that we saw before. Alright, how many apprehensions do I have? 511! Okay, we should level up our crew some. Hold on. We'll be back, Genevieve. Hold on, let me make sure we're talking to everybody else. We're doing Ashen's thing. I don't want to flirt with Ashen. I don't think she'd be into it, and I don't know if I could survive if she was. Pen Pusher, we're doing Pen Pusher's thing, right? What are we supposed to be doing for him? Wait, we do have a concern related to him, don't we? Ooh, maybe not. The Hunger That Breeds? Ah, yes, okay, we do have a thing for him. Okay. Then, sorry, buddy. Spire, we're working on Spire's deal. Cromlech, we gotta wait until Cromlech feels better, I think. And Banjo, we're working on. We're going to interview people for his quest already. Okay, so the question then is, how do we want to spend things? What stats do we want to push? I'm going to push our spirit up to 60 because round numbers and the human brain. And then what else do we really want to? You know what? I want to work my graft up. I feel like our character should have good graft. Then again, I don't exactly know how things are going to go with Delgado. We might end up... I don't know how his quest is going to... I'm just going to go ahead and spend. So we could probably get our graft up quite high, right? I should probably be keeping track. That's got us to 55. You know what? This is also going to 60. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's got us to 196 apprehensions remaining. Speaking of round numbers, 1, 2, and 3. And then our vigilance and insight are pretty bad. Our guile's not super high, but honestly, it's been high enough to get done the things we generally need to get done. I think our character having low guts makes sense, frankly. Let's push either vigilance or insight. I'm gonna push. Oh, I can't push insight. I'm gonna push vigilance then. Yeah, let's spend the rest of it here till we can spend no longer. Okay, there we go. Cashing stuff in, getting those stat points. Am I supposed to be going this way? Hold on. Where am I going? Yes, this way is fine. I do need to go north one more time. And we have a ridiculously large amount of fuel. I wonder if all of the fuel in the house comes from that one oil rig. So I guess I don't know where else they would get it, or exactly what it is even that we're using as fuel. It's not coal, is it? I don't know. Feels like occultist paraphernalia, maybe, is the thing to drop. So we're going to end up with a bunch more apprehensions by the end of the episode. Continuing to go to new places is a really fast way to earn them. I have no idea, unfortunately, like, what a good... Oh, this is interesting. We've not seen snow before, and the walls are coated in ice. Alright, well, still so much to see, apparently. You know, it's a pretty big game. I don't want to interact with that. That looks spooky. Man, I'm gonna level with you. Seeing all this is just making me really miss snow. I hate it when it's not winter. And don't get me wrong, there are other seasons that are okay. I don't mind a bit of autumn, but we're like pretty early in the summer now, and summer is by far my least favorite part of year. I hate sunny and bright and hot. Oh, how I hate hot. Aerozim is nearby. Okay, that's where we're going. And it's just, I know we have months of it being the thing I dislike most before it becomes a thing that I like again outside, and just not looking forward to it. As the instant that there's no longer snow on the ground, I miss winter. Ice-kept dead sit in their huddled masses. They died together, sharing their dwindling warmth. The towers have collapsed under the crushing weight of snow. This was a proud city once, before the odd winter intrusion let the snow in. Well, let's have a little bit of a look around before we go on our hunt. How many treasures are buried here under the snow and ice? Your crew march out into the whiteness with shovels at the ready, moaning bitterly about the cold. After several hours of digging, Eddie Harrison finds something. A collapsed wall, a door frame, a bookshelf encased in ice. Okay, these are not high-value resources, but they are free resources. It looks like we have nothing else to do here. I'm going to interact with one of my pets. Let's cuddle our rhinoceros. I love a tiny rhinoceros. That would be such a good pet to have in real life. Alright, let's take a look around. Alright, says Banjo, stamping the snow from his boots. This is a huge dead city, and they could be anywhere, if they're even still here, which I doubt, because they'd be like 70 years old by now. Yeah, we'll ask the navigator. Crumlech thoughtfully strokes his beard. Apparently he's calmed down a little bit. May I see that letter? He stares at the paper for a while, then barks a laugh. Yes, yes, he says, handing it back to you. I thought there'd be a riddle. There's always a riddle. Nothing but ice. It's just a rather dismal pun. Just ice. There's a court of justice. In Aerozim, I believe. Okay, I should hope so. The Aerozim Court of Just Ice is a building of gold-flecked marble. It was a building designed to make criminals feel small, and you can already imagine the interior. Elegant frescoes, tapestries, mosaics, and a preponderance of busts. You climb inside, over a collapsed block of ice-coated marble. Your breath leaks out in white smoke. Banjo, of course, has no breath at all. That's just because he's been hanging around with me for so long. I've been told I am rather breathtaking. Summer and Mrs. Autumnal's campsite is in one of the upper corridors. The cold has kept their bodies much better preserved than Banjo. Well, we found them. They're sprawled around a long extinguished bonfire. The tent and its contents have been scattered across the length of the corridor. Banjo stands silent next to you. He, too, could have been carved from ice. Summer was clearly beautiful once. Her blue eyes are frozen open, eyelashes and eyes both dusted with frost, and a red stain covering her chest. Mrs. Autumnal has a pistol in one hand and a knife in the other, but death took her just the same. Yeah, says Banjo, that's them. He kneels down by each of them, checking their scalps. Curious. I would also like to see. You turn Summer's head and the neck crackles as the ice inside it breaks. There, nestled amongst her golden hair, is a small neat hole that bores down to the brain. Correct me if I'm wrong, says Banjo, but trepanning is a sure sign of memory theft. Suddenly, Banjo stands up, throws out his hands, and lets out an almighty cheer. He pauses to catch his breath, then laughs uproariously. So you've gone mad. Seems a little presumptuous. You feeling okay, buddy? No, you know what? I'm just gonna wait. If he wants to tell me, he'll tell me. He shakes his head. For 40 years, I thought they'd betrayed me. Ah, right. And it's not that they'd betrayed him, it's that somebody stole their memories and got the information that way. So why would someone want to steal your memories? For the directions, of course, says Banjo. After the heist, we took our big score, gave it to a golem, and each gave it a different direction. This is information we have already. Then it ran off to hide it in whatever random dark room we had collectively sent it to. The idea was that it would stop us betraying each other. And look, it worked! Well, I mean, kind of. So the other 3 sets of directions are out there somewhere in memory boxes. I like the way you think, says Banjo, grinning wider than usual. We have an opportunity here. We track down the killer, find the memory boxes, and find the treasure. You in? Hey, what exactly is the treasure? Well, we never opened it. All I know is that it was hidden in a box, and we had a buyer willing to pay us an ungodly sum for it, says Banjo. I'm more interested in finding those memory boxes. But I suppose finding the killer might be our first step, yeah. We find the boxes, we find the treasure. You in? Well, of course, I love treasure. Also finding stuff. I knew I could count on you, kid. Banjo coughs, embarrassed at his own sincerity. He turns and begins digging through the snow. Come on, let's look for other clues. Hours of searching later, you tramp through the blizzard back to the Kinetipede. And we'll have to talk to him, I'm sure. Okay, well, I can't imagine there's a shop. No. That seemed productive. We've had some productive times. Oh, I picked up a thing, right. Books. Well, what do I want to drop? We need to just have less stuff. Honestly, meandering treatises are pretty low value. I'll just burn some lumber. That's a fine way to solve that problem. Okay. Now let's leave. To the south, right? Well, I guess west and south both work. We have to go both ways. West to Castles of Ice. I'm gonna just head straight west for right now. We'll get to the edge of They only jump scare me about 80% of the time. Okay, disquieting incident. Let's have a quick chat with Banjo. So what's your plan here, my friend? These are the bullets I found at the scene. Plink, 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 as he sets them down. They're of a very particular make. Factory-made. Summer and Mrs. Autumnal were killed by governor's men, SB. No wonder they were afraid. He looks at you meaningfully. Now, the interesting thing about that, he finishes. It says here finishes another bullet from his pocket. It's probably supposed to be fishes. This is the bullet that killed me. Not factory-made at all. It's from the Sixfold Principate. So, you were killed by someone else, a third party, not governor's men. Precisely, says Banjo. And I think they aimed for my head deliberately. They blew my brains out so the governor's men would have no way of recovering my memories. Banjo pauses. I was the rope in a tug-of-war that I didn't even understand. Yeah. You know, maybe it's time you told me everything about the heist that kicked this all off, given where our quest has progressed to at this point. Oh, you're probably right, Banjo sighs. I didn't want to scare you off, but you do deserve to know. Our heist targeted the factory. We stole something that was the governor's. We had an anonymous buyer offering a very generous price, but one of our meetings with his representatives went badly, so we got spooked. We decided to hide the box away and let the heat die down. We never looked inside it. Okay, so what do we do now? We may need to contact a fortune teller of some kind, says Banjo. I suggest we go to Buzzard's Omen. And then, for some reason, I'm allowed to ask him the thing I already asked him. And then I guess that unlocks this again for us? The factory? You should have told me earlier. I don't want to... No, I'm not going to say that. I'm not afraid to go up against the governor. Come on. Let's go to Buzzard's Omen. Hard to believe we're going to track down the man who killed me. I'm going to spend most of my time hiding behind you, if that's alright. No, I get it. I can see why you would handle it that way. We do have some... what do you call it? Some apprehensions again. I'm going to spend them here. Okay. So we'll go west a couple of rooms, and then we'll turn. So we don't have to do anything in particular for Cromlech to get better, right? Like, he will get better on his own, I think. It's just gonna take a minute. You know what? We were gonna have to snake way around anyway. We may as well go west one more time. I wanna give our navigator the opportunity to detect things that are further west, in case there is anything further west. An abandoned cottage. What a surprise. Hey, free golem. I hate that it lets you move for like a whole second when you don't actually have the ability to move. Lumber, here's what I was looking for. Because you know what we need is more fuel. Just run from this guy. I mean, who knows what the deal with the giant floating crystal is? But what I know is, I don't care what the deal with the giant floating crystal is. The notes are scrolling past so fast we can't even read them. One of them was about somebody having built a snowman on the Kinetipede's roof, which, yeah, is a little unsettling. You have to hope it was crew, but why would someone go up there? Well, whatever. If it was some kind of otherworldly terror, at least they didn't mean us any harm. You know, they built us a thing that's delightful. You can only be so upset about that. For a second there, I thought he wasn't actually coming after us. I would not like to allow the memory thieves to take a thing. Should we just fight him? We could probably kill him. We're real good at it. Yeah, sure. We could have tried to flee, but we're getting pretty good at the combat here. So they do have 3 people with guns. I mean, it's hard to imagine that the right play is anything other than close twice and then send over Ashen, and also probably someone else. But at the very least, definitely Ashen. I'm having a hell of a time selecting her. There we go. Alright, I think what we do with Ashen is, instead of sending over a second person, we just send Ashen down to deal with one of the gunners. She did her attack before she executed her order. That's annoying. Oh, hey, their crew's actually moving. Also, they're shooting sanity bullets at us. That's pretty not normal. And also not ideal. Yeah, I don't like this thing where sometimes your crew executes the orders before they process them. Alright, you should also come over. Please just land in one of the gunner's bays. That's fine. Get you over here as well. Alright. 1 gunner down, 2nd gunner to die shortly. And we have more people with guns on their ship than they do at this point. Okay. So this person took a ton of damage on our previous turn. It's possible I don't even need to move anybody in. I think Ashen dealt damage through the wall, but let's just in case, right? You're not actually close enough to deal damage to that guard. And then, do we have one more? Yeah, we have one more guard. Feels like you could maybe execute that animation a little bit faster. Now see here, are we actually going to wait for the movement to complete before executing the order? And why this time but not last time? The whole thing just seems very arbitrary. Okay, so we took some sanity damage there, and that is unfortunate. But situation is 1000% under control now. So it is most important to move Ashen, which unfortunately starts with moving the people that are in front of Ashen because it's impossible to select people. And you also go in and help fight that guy. Are we not good? And the problem is probably that this swabby is not actually in a space. I'm just going to hit end turn and see if that fixed. Okay, it fixed it. Alright, so they're out of gunners. Or they're out of guards, rather. Ashen can go and work on you. I mean, this is over. Oh, right. I hit end turn, but it doesn't actually finish executing all the orders. Okay, there we go. An arms consignment and a bizarre effigy. The enemy's vehicle is silent, utterly emptied of life. Searching the cargo, you uncover enough weapons to equip a small army. Also, some kind of shrine. I'm gonna smash that effigy. Can I do that? Well, let me do that here in the middle of nowhere. Whoa, whoa. Okay, that's a lot of scrolling. Oh, I can just cuddle my tiny rhinoceros out on the road? Really? I wonder how frequently. Alright, I'm going to shatter this too, because we're not going to be able to carry it. And we're still over our weight, even without it. Oh yeah, arms consignments are quite heavy, it turns out. Well, let's drop one of the golems. They're so common, and we don't really need them. Okay. So we're outside the snowy area now. We need to go south a couple more times. I wonder why we're getting a dripping noise. That's not normal. Oh wait, this guy wants nothing to do with me. It's the only kind of person I'm interested in interacting with. The unmoving star, surrounded by crudely drawn rays of sunlight. Well, most stars are basically unmoving, right? Unmoving-ish? Is that the place? Nope, this is the Cathedral of Stolen Gods. That's a Kelp Fortress. Where did I find an unmoving star? I wish it was better at communicating. I mean, you would expect it to be in approximately the area that we're in, right? So maybe just like further away from the map than I was expecting? Further away from the rooms that we have mapped? No, it looks like no. It looks like we just didn't actually find out about a place called the Unmoving Star. Well, maybe it'll be on our map after we... I don't know. So like, give it a moment after the interaction? Nope, looks like we just get nothing. That's a shame. An Unmoving Star sounds cool. And also, oh, it's one of those cathedral tank buildings. That's interesting. Also, that means the game stole my droll recollection. Its spires scrape the ceiling. Its stained glass windows depict slaughter and triumph. Every arch, every buttress, every gable and gallery is groaning under dozens of symbols or instruments of war. Spikes, cannons, human skulls. The cathedral rests not on foundations, but on caterpillar treads, each a mile in length. Atop its sagging spire flutters a defiant black banner, the skull and crossed croziers. And apparently it's just sitting here open. Well, let's go inside. Inside, the cathedral is a riot of different religious iconography. 36 sacred shrouds and scrolls hang from the walls, some still lightly charred from the raids in which they were stolen. Every available inch of space is carved with a different holy symbol. The pirate priests march back and forth across the echoing marble, their boots clumping, their chainmail robes dragging along the floor. One of them loudly demands a mead, and a collared slave hurries to fetch it for him. Another attempts to deliver a sermon, but the rest roar curses at him until he shuts up, so we probably should not attempt to preach angle grab here. They have an Omni Pope. I guess that makes sense. Craft hull armor from your deiform scab matter. The congealed blood of gods is stronger than any metal. Oh, that's interesting. We'd have to get 7? We totally had an opportunity to pick up another one at some point, didn't we? I remember seeing Deiform Scab Matter before we had the encounter where we actually got it. So that's interesting. Am I allowed to... No, my pet options are not here. So they're not available once per settlement. They're available once per time unit, and I just don't know what the time unit is. Alright, well, let's visit the Omni Pope. As long as you genuflect and address him by his many titles, the Omni Pope will deign to receive you. He sounds like Cetra. The Omni Pope sits in a luxuriant room at the top of the cathedral's central spire. A room filled with silk cushions, gem-studded trinkets, and above it all, a golden chandelier. He is a vastly obese man, the size and shape of an overstuffed sofa, with a braided beard that reaches his ankles. His eyes are hidden behind garishly colorful stained glass spectacles. He is puffing something from a long wooden pipe. The unmistakable fog of godsmoke fills the air. Does that say it says fug? Huh. "How may I help you, child?" asks the Omni Pope, his voice slurred. Yeah, that's a great question. I actually don't know. The Omni Pope theoretically has the favor of 100 gods, but what is the value of a blessing? A story is a currency that we, potentially understand the value of at least. Let's go this way. According to legend, the Omni Pope is over 100 years old and fought personally in the thief crusades that once ravaged the house. A new light comes into the Omni Pope's eyes. With great satisfaction, he tells you stories of the old days, back before the cathedral's engine broke down. He paints a picture of all his most brutal conquests. Villages burned to the ground, holy books ripped from their lecterns, enemy priests forced to blaspheme and then burned alive if they refuse. That's pretty messed up. The Omni Pope sinks back into his cushions, calling for wine. You are obviously dismissed. Okay, and then before you leave, the pirate priests offer you a gift, a crate with a red ribbon tied around its lid. The crate sits outside your kinetipede. Sitting atop it is a curly-haired man with the number 12 tattooed on his forehead in bold block lettering. "Compliments of the Omni Pope," he says, leaping down from his perch. "Don't open it until you're out of here. Cheers." "Hey, what is it?" "Oh, don't ask me, I'm just a courier slave," he says, more cheerfully than you might expect. "The Omni Pope is a generous fellow, but he's cruel when he's spurned. I recommend you take it." I mean, listen, if they were just going to try to kill us, they would have killed us while we were in the cathedral. It's not going to be a bomb or anything. Yeah, I'll take it. You order your crew to load the crate into your cargo. The courier slave skips away, vanishing between two of the cathedral's dismal buttresses. The crate is oddly heavy. How oddly heavy? Oh, not that heavy. Alright, I guess let's leave and we'll open it once we're out of here. Is there anything in particular? I mean, yeah, we're going to the Kelp Fortress. And then maybe up to here? Yeah, we might. Instead of coming back down. We should probably circle, actually. We should do this, then Vex, then, Twinflower Rust doesn't have anything particularly valuable, but we should, sweep through the middle so that we can drop off reports and get paid. Anyway, east. South and east are our directions of choice. Words is hard. Here, we'll get a screen away, then we'll open that box. I am curious what it will be, though. Okay. A gift from the Omni Pope. No note attached, so I probably have to do it in an option here. What would a figure like the Omni Pope want to offer you? We were told that it was quite heavy. It actually weighs nothing. I'm gonna cuddle my rhinoceros first. Everybody look away. I need to cuddle my rhinoceros. Alright. Air! I need air! As you pull up the lid, a skinny hand shoots up and grabs the crate's edge. A red-haired woman climbs out, wearing a bedraggled set of rags, gasping for breath. The stowaway sits on the floor for a moment, collecting herself. "I hate confined spaces," she says finally. "Well, that's one trial over. Howdy." Yeah, who are you and what were you doing in that box?" She stands up, brushing dust from her rags, and shakes your hand. "Name's Lucetta Quetzal," she says. "Pleased to meet you. I was an engine slave at the cathedral. Was toiling down there for at least 2 years by my reckoning. She glances around your cargo with mild interest. Have any nice clothes I could wear? Something elegant. I'm not a fan of this slave chic. Yeah, maybe. I'd be nice to her, right? Like, obviously I have questions, but yeah, this is in character to help her out with her dilemma. She rapidly changes behind a stack of crates. Thank you, she says when she emerges, adjusting her broad-brimmed hat. I feel much better already. I just had extra broad-brimmed hats sitting around. So this was never a gift from the Omni Pope? Oh, afraid not, says Lucetta. 12. That's the nice fellow who delivered this gift to you. He helped me hatch this plan. 12 is a courier slave, see, been at the cathedral for near on a decade. The pirate priests are convinced he's loyal. He was able to deliver me without attracting too much scrutiny. 12 is an unusual name. It's not, it's a name, but it's not like a name, right? Oh, did you see his tattoo? She asks. 12's been a slave so long he stopped using his old name. They called me 89 and gave me a tattoo to match. She shows you the back of her hand where the numbers 8 and 9 are inked. It was more cumbersome to say than 12, so only the overseers ever used it. You can call me Lucetta, please. Never Lucy. Alright, I'll take that under advisement. It's weird that 12 got his number tattooed on his head, but you got yours just on the back of your hand? So why did you... this is a stupid question. To escape being a slave. So what now? Well, my plan never extended much beyond escape a lifetime of drudgery, she says. Could I work for you as a chief engineer? It's not like I have anywhere else to go. I just ask for a fair wage and occasional leisure time. I was the best mechanic at the cathedral, though I doubt they'd give me a glowing reference no matter how nicely I asked. We have a chief engineer, though, and I'm kind of doing his quest right now, so I'm gonna offer to take her back to the City of Keys instead. Well, that's a great kindness, she says. Thank you. She heads off to examine your engine, even though she's not supposed to be doing that. Okay. How much further south? Oh, we don't need to go any further south. To the east, then. Wait, let's see if these guys want to trade with us. They do not. A watchful group of ghoul-goyles are mounted on the sides of the ship. They jeer and stick their great tongues out at you as you pass. Well, I could have shot them for that offense, but I'm deciding to be merciful. Today, I'm feeling merciful. Sort of. A little bit. Oh, what is this now? Oh, Cromlech's feeling a little better. Cromlech has been acting strangely of late. He hasn't left his room for days, and the rest of the crew are starting to complain about the smell. When you enter, you find him crouched on the bed, chewing furiously at the sheets. The walls are covered in dung and blood-daubed runes. His meticulous collection of books have been torn to pieces. Help me, he gasps, spitting out the remnants of his blanket. Something's happening to me. I need a doctor. Well, we have a doctor. Char puts Cromlech up on her table and examines him carefully. What are your symptoms? I wake up to find that in my sleep I've cut myself and drawn runes and pentacles in my blood. That's a hell of a symptom. The heart light hurts my eyes. I'm afflicted by a kind of trance sometimes, and when I awaken I've destroyed my possessions. A tear wells in his eye. Even my books, and I have terrible dreams. Well, this isn't a medical complaint, says Char firmly. This is a cult business, outside my area of expertise. Hey, Cromlech, why don't you tell me a little bit about your dreams? I'm something of an occultist myself. 9 dead worlds ringed a blood sun, says Cromlech dully. Teeth in the sky. Perhaps this is related to your experience at the Goatstones. Back when I was growing up in the village, there was a ritual to initiate me into adulthood, but I never completed it. I couldn't stand the blood and the visions. I ran away as fast as I could. That's when the nomads took me in. He snaps his fingers. Perhaps I just need to complete that ritual. It was left unfinished, after all. It seems odd that would just happen to have kicked in now after we'd visited the Goatstones. Cromlech grabs your surgeon's notepad and jots down a list of what he needs. He tears it off and hands it to you, never meeting your eyes. We need to do this, he says hoarsely. I just want to go back to not remembering these dreams. Okay, gallows candles, blood-soaked monolith, and bottled darkness are all easy enough. A zoological specimen alive, on the other hand, I have no idea how to acquire. Cromlech retreats to his quarters once again. You hear strange noises from there at night. Well, That's a problem. I don't really know where to get a zoological specimen. I'm trying to think. We've gotten all our previous beasts from... Where did we get them? I think was it Delving in Carapace that had us get all those giant rats? Oh, Crumlick has more to say. No? No, he doesn't. It's a lie. But it's not gonna go away, I guess. Did you know that this game has some bugs in it? Alright, anything interesting here? A deactivated golem. Yeah, I was gonna say, I can't believe we can carry that, but we can't. It really should just stop you. It shouldn't let you move if you can't move. It's super weird to me that it lets you travel for sometimes over a full second before it checks your cargo weight. You know, they could have just traveled less directly toward us, and I might have had to at least try to steer around them a little bit. Alright, the Kelp Fortress. Wow, that's actually very ominous right there. A grimy citadel with walls of sea-starved kelp, every strand brown and withered. The Karchar summons salt water from other worlds to try to keep it alive, but there is never enough. Plucked from oceanic worlds, most Karchar accept their lives as second-class citizens in land-bound cities. Here, though, the orthodox and the elite cling to tradition. Ah, okay, so we are maybe going to actually learn something about the Karchar and where they're from here. A Karchar named Metalbiter hangs around in the human-permitted district, fixing canopies for petty cash. He bends iron girders with his oversized jaws. That's awesome. He sounds like a street shark. Your engineers help with the repairs, hopefully speeding the process along. It takes 1 day, you big baby. Alright, let's gather news. Disease runs rampant in the Kelp Halls. A blood battle between 2 founding family members has resulted in several casualties. More Karchar visitants have arrived, confused and afraid. We should definitely study their language. Hooray for Esoterica. A blind old Karchar offers to teach you if you take him to the City of Keys. I will absolutely do that. That sounds great. The Karchar grunts something that might be a thanks. He has grandchildren in the city, he says, and he no longer thinks them foolish for going there. On the journey, he teaches you a little of the language. It is dizzyingly complex, but you make some progress. The rules of the language are intricate, and each rule has more exceptions than adherents. Oh, hey, that sounds familiar. Let us preach the word of Anglecrab. The Hammerhead aristocracy hide in their towers of coral, and allow no foreigner to speak to them. The regular Karchar, however, are more willing to listen. You open the thing, you preach the whatever. By process of elimination, the fortress contains only the most orthodox Karchar. They still worship their tentacled sea gods, the aberrant lords of their old world, and react to your preaching with roars of disapproval and the occasional hurled stone. You are forced to beat a hasty retreat. People do not like Anglecrab, mostly. That is what I have learned about people. Non-Karchar are only allowed in certain areas of the Citadel. Further in, you are liable to be devoured. Okay, well, let's not go all the way to there, then. A judgment is being delivered in the town square. A hulking Karchar stands accused of attempting to give himself a name. He roars and rattles his chains, protesting his innocence. The judge is a Hammerhead, one of the Karchar's ruling elite. Nameless, I pronounce you guilty, she pronounces, banging a gavel against her podium. Most of the crowd are chanting for blood. The Hammerhead nods and holds up her hand. I mean, do we want to stay and watch the execution? My guess is if we do this, nothing happens, we don't get anything. We'll get something here. We'll get a story of some kind, and my guess is we'll get a story and lose some sanity. I'm gonna hit it. The Hammerhead clenches her fist. The convicted criminal floats into the air as though pulled by invisible string, and hovers there for a moment. Then he explodes, showering the bellowing, gleeful crowd in viscera. After that, show's over. The Karchar pick up the public court for the day, or pack up the public court for the day, and shuffle off home. You're left wiping scraps of Karchar off your collar and contemplating what just happened. That looked like a horrible way to go. I hope I never end up being psychically exploded by a shark. And then I guess we're done here. Looks like that's all there is to do in this place. There are some select items which the Hammerheads are keen to purchase from travelers like yourself. Meat, trout, revelations, and oddities. Well, I'll sell you this trout. It doesn't seem like there's any reason for us to hold on to the trout. We've never seen a suggestion that they might be useful elsewhere. Also, I think we get more than 90 guineas for our revelations in other places, so it doesn't really seem like we should sell that here. And then I guess it's just south, right? We'll try to ambush a consortium kinetipede on the way down to Vex, because it's easy to do and we're really good at fighting. So we want to go out to the east and then just head south. I'm ready to fight some dudes. We have 210 hull, and I have way more confidence than is probably warranted. Hey, free obscene booklet. Okay, it is just Cromlech. I guess he's just bugged now, and we're going to have to deal with him having a notifier on until we can solve his quest, which is a real bummer, because it might be a while. Again, I do not actually know where to get a zoological specimen. Certainly not a living one. That's going to be the hard part. Alright, are we in the right place? We are. Okay. So yeah, be on the lookout for a consortium flag. Okay, I guess this is the guy. I thought we were... Did it say kinetipede? I thought we were looking for a gigantopede. Huh. I don't know why I thought that. Well, this is the guy we're looking for. It was nice of him to run over to us. So they have 3 guns. They have a proper guard captain and 4 guards. So taking them on with guard combat is going to be not 100% trivial, but it's still probably the case that they're not going to fight back as effectively as we fight them. Although I suppose it is worth noting, they did actually try the last group. They didn't just stand there and let us murder them. Which really is fairly rude. Why don't you go over here? Damn it. She did damage before it was her turn to she did damage before she took her position. Okay, well that's a problem. So that very low health value is one of them? Oh, sorry, that's not my guy. You get up here. I'm gonna leave Ashen right where Ashen is. We're gonna pull you out. We don't need to be able to fire that gun anyway. And we have another guard. Let's go and gang up on these guys. I guess, actually, this is a real problem. With them having both lots of guards and lots of gunners, did Ashen not do any damage? I don't think Ashen did any damage. That complicates things. You're not allowed to just not do damage. Oh no, Ashen, maybe we had not damaged that guy at all? I don't want to use an order to move 3 feet. Probably for obvious reasons. Also, my crew is looking pretty beat up. Huh. How are we going to deal with this? I mean, we have to kill these guys. The answer is we have to kill these guys. Do you want to maybe do the thing? There we go. That consumed multiple actions. This game's combat is so damn buggy. Could you please move? Could you please enter the room? There we go. I think this will kill that guard. And so we shouldn't take any damage here. Alright, we got some kills. Looks like we maybe also took some damage there. And Ashen did finally kill that one gunner. Their shooting is very accurate. Alright, so we gotta do that. Ashen has to start working on another gunner and is gonna have to do it alone. Okay, so Ashen's got that one under control. How much damage are we going to take here? That's not too bad. So we need some of us to cross over. We need to start working on their final gunner. Is there... Okay, it looks like they're all dead. Unfortunately, this is probably not going to result in a total clear of their guns. Okay, the next turn will, though. So as long as this doesn't deal 64 hull damage, we are going to come out the other side of this. But this was a tough one. This was a dangerous one. Alright, so Ashen is in a fine position to go and just fight their captain. And I'm going to send one of you over there with her. And that leaves us with 2 actions left, so we can send another guard over and move them to somewhere useful. Honestly, to here. Let's try to make sure this guy goes down. He does not. Okay, so now we can start moving our engineers around a little bit too. You're a guard, right? No, not Cromlech. The guy behind, yeah, the guy behind Cromlech should cross over. Some of our guards are really badly injured. Let's start work over here. I don't think that guard being really badly injured should matter. I'm going to move one more gun onto this, though. Just in case. Let's make it absolutely certain that their traitor captain dies here. Because if he doesn't go down, then he is going to kill Kane Waldeck. Alright, so now it's over. We'll move you, and you, and you in here to do this. You can go fight that engineer. This guy is never conducting combat again. He needs to take a break. I'm not sure if it tracks health status for our lower deck crew between battles. You know, I don't know if they actually maintain levels. Okay, victorious. I mean, in a way. The Canetipede is a smoking ruin, a split metal corpse, and also you should see theirs. You kick amongst the wreckage until you uncover the traitor, somehow alive, though his left arm has been crushed to mulch under a ton of iron debris. He is still wearing his dark glasses. He is uncannily calm for a man with one less limb than at the start of the day. I saw this happen, he says dreamily. There are some futures we cannot avoid when the fates coalesce. Ashen, you can do the thing. And I'm fine with you doing it. I think our character has definitely taken some dark turns recently. This place is having an effect. But I think still I would balk at this. Ashen knocks the glasses from the traitor's face with a swift slap. Beneath sit 2 gleaming gold coins, pressed awkwardly into 2 small sockets. Twin carved faces stare out at you, and you recognize G. No, not my eyes, says the traitor. Not them. Take my gold, take my life, anything else. Oh, shut up, says Ashen. She jams her knife under the first coin's edge and snaps it from the socket with a single motion. And, ignoring the traitor's screams, she does the same with the next, leaving 2 ragged red holes above his nose. Ta very much, she says joyfully, and plunges the knife just above his collarbone. And we stole some stuff from them. We got some oils and perfumes. Okay. So, that was a real nightmare. The whole thing, the text, the fighting, every part of it. He slumps over dead. And then I jump in here to see if I can interact with my pets. Yes, I can. I will stroke my... You know what? I've cuddled my rhinoceros enough for today. Oh, that helps. I'm a little worried that this thing seems to be coming for us again. We certainly can't do another battle right now. I'm assuming that it's supposed to have despawned? Oh, we're over cargo. Sure, we sure are. Jeez. That was a lot of stuff we just picked up. Hazard coffee, when used... Oh, we can throw it in the engine. Yeah, let's do that. And then... Dragon spice... Dragon spice is pretty low weight. If we're gonna get under, we have to drop something big. I mean, a crate of normal angel wine is not very valuable. And then we'll just drop something else that's pretty low weight. That armed consignment will definitely sell. How about the gallows candles? Or trying to think. What else do we find a lot of that we don't actually need? Apparently we have tons of arcane codices. Let's drop one of those. Okay, return. And just let them go. They shouldn't exist anyway. Sorry, where am I going here? I guess we're going down to Vex. So east one, south a bunch, and try to get there quickly without anything untoward occurring, because boy are we in danger. A test of vigilance. Can we find a book? We do not find a book. That's probably for the best, actually. I would have had to just throw it away anyway. I don't know why I looked. Alright, I extremely do not have time for you right now. So, if all we were going to do was use our crew to fight, then really it didn't help us to spend all that money that we've spent on guns, but the hull upgrades that we purchased, or the hull upgrade singular that we purchased, was tremendously valuable, like really unbelievably valuable. Godsmoke is also fairly valuable, so okay, I know that's going to put us overweight, but it's good to have. Let's drop, an embalmed corpse, of course. There's no way we need all of these. And then, will it let me... No, we cannot pet again yet. Okay, we should definitely save the game, because that combat was actually quite difficult. And do we want to go down to Twinflower Rust? Probably not. We'll just go through Clayton's Mill to the City of Bridges, and then back to the City of Keys. Sir, this is a city too. We don't need to go back to the City of Engines yet, though, right? We can pick up the news. We could write. All right, let's go south to, and then east to Clayton's Mill. I don't know if there's anything of real value for us to do there, but at the very least, we can maybe get into a card game. We were good enough. Our stats were good enough to win quite a bit of money the last couple of times we went down there to play cards, and they're certainly a hell of a lot better now. Oh, right, we can give Cromlech apprehensions again. I am going to flee. Yeah, one assumes we will be successful given, again, our very impressive stat line. Actually, let's do that. Let's make the perfect cup of coffee. Cromlech appears engaged in some occult ritual that involves beans and a grinder. Hazard coffee is all the rage, of course, says Cromlech, but it's much too extreme. You lose all the subtleties of taste. Let me show you how to make the perfect cup, friend. It is, indeed, delicious. Over your steaming cups, Cromlech tells you a little about the rituals that help him navigate. Apparently, such rituals are common knowledge in the Goatstones, though he's tight-lipped about his time there. This really makes it makes a lot less sense now that we're on his quest. This should probably have multiple versions of the text, depending on how close you are to him. Alright. And then, of course, we also do need to talk to Ashen. What's up next? Ashen spins one of the old coins across the table. It catches the light in unusual ways. I'm amazed G would put so much of himself into making these. It seems like such an obvious mistake. But he was never very bright, I suppose, except when it came to numbers. How exactly did you know, G? Before your time, says Ashen. He used to be a different man. And how exactly did you know the ten-a-penny man? Well, I heard the ten-a-penny man was after them coins, she says. So I sought him out, hoping he'd be an ally. Not sure how he worked out how to kill G on his own, but I have my suspicions. He got a little help, perhaps. Yeah, I'm curious about that. I'm not allowed to ask any questions, but how can we use these to kill him exactly? Ashen picks up the spinning coin and flicks it toward you, and my incredible guile probably allows me to catch it. Yep, this time. You catch the coin between two fingers. Ashen grins. It's not exactly lethal, is it? She says dryly. But not to worry. I've been working on this plan for a long time. Before I met you, boss, I was a pilgrim, seeking advice from some of the oldest, wisest minds in the house. The proprietress, Lady Stymphalion, Hummingbird the Vulgarian, scholars, librarians, and hammerheads. I learned a few different ways to turn G's coins against him. Melt him down and drown him, forge a golden dagger, weave a noose from fine gold wire. But all those would require more coins than we have, and the bastard ten-a-penny proved less useful than I'd hoped. So what do we need to do? These wise old minds all pointed me in a certain direction, says Ashen. A man in Buzzard's Omen, a prophet and artificer who can forge weapons that bend the whims of fate. He trades under a pseudonym, the Gunsmith. 2 coins, SB. It's enough for a single bullet. She picks the coin from the floor and finger mimes a gun pressed against her temple. Now, I admit, she says, I would have preferred the golden knife, but we must play the cards we're dealt. Okay, well, we were already headed out to Buzzard's Omen, so that's convenient. Okay, I didn't actually make a note of, sorry, how far south were we supposed to go? Actually, not south. North, in fact. I can't remember if we can restore sanity in Clayton's Mill. I think we can't. We had a big interaction the first time we went there, but I think it's one of those little mini settlements, so we might have to cope with our bad sanity for a while. We're not that far from the City of Angels. I guess if I'm really that concerned about it, we could veer off and hit the city. But I think I'd rather go to the City of Keys first, and then come back around. Someone has painted strange runes on the door to your quarters. Well, that's a little concerning. Although, it's probably just Cromlech. Are we almost there? We are almost there. Spaces seem interminably long. It's the effect the house has on people. Alright, Clayton's Mill. Drinking at the mill can be dicey and you need to remain watchful. Well, repairing our hull is very expensive, but I suppose that was going to be true no matter where we do it. Let's gather news. Let's ingratiate ourselves. We will not play without cheating. That feels like a stupid thing to do. We will cheat to win. Uh-oh, we failed. Everyone at the table is cheating, but none of them get caught. You do. A flurry of 2-sided cards spill majestically out of your sleeve just as you lay down your winning hand. The ensuing fight takes over the entire bar, with stools, knives, and bullets flying in every direction. You make a break from under the table during a lull, and frankly, you're lucky to get away with most of your blood. Oh, what's that wet spot under your shirt? You've been stabbed. When did that happen? Whatever, I'm fine. I've had so much worse. I'm not gonna bother doing the relax and recover thing here. I think we're... Oh, jeez. That really scrolls aggressively. Let's just spend a little time hanging out with our pup, and then get the heck out of here. Fuel, it's slightly above price. I mean, we may as well sell our obscene booklet and our blinding hooch. I don't think we have any use for those things. And then... Ooh, wow, Dread Machinations. Very valuable here. I'm gonna hold on to them. They're too valuable to sell. You've made a mistake. You convinced me not to sell them to you because the offer was too good. Alright, so... Do we want to head down all the way down to the City of Engines? Yeah, I guess we may as well. Alright, south and then diagonal. I feel like we haven't been back here in quite a long time. Alright, are you after me? You are after me. I suppose we could, at this point, stand and fight, but I'd be leery of doing so with our sanity in the state it's in. Who knows what our crew might do? It's an ominous sound. So bright, so harsh. The heartlight is hurting your eyes. You order it turned off, just for the moment, and the darkness fills you with sweet relief. A stroll next, perhaps. To step away from the Kinetipede, to simply walk and walk. Oh, you're tempted, but you resist. Oh man, it's getting to me, man. Alright, your surgeon is no longer in recovery. That's lovely. Let's go check out Char's laboratory. Ludlow Way was once a thriving industrial district, now ravaged by poverty and decay. Abandoned warehouses are 10 a penny, and usually filled with gangsters, drug fiends, or both. You suppose that Char fits the bill. I've always had it in the back of my mind that I might have a crack at the old formula again, she says cheerfully. You need some pretty rare stuff, but I was making a bit of money, so I've been, stockpiling over the years. She stops in front of a burned-out shell of a building. Huh. She walks up to the blackened rubble and gives it a kick. Huh. She strolls around the perimeter, then returns. Huh. Well, she says, I thought I'd left my lab in the care of some reliable people. Looks like I was wrong. We should move away at a leisurely pace and try not to attract attention. Keep an eye out. Eyes glitter in the recesses of shattered buildings. Figures watch you from crumbling rooftops. I'm really good at keeping an eye out. Atop a roof you see a glint of metal, a rifle slung over a shoulder. You nudge Char. Yeah, I see 'em, she says. These aren't razor gents or arty boys. They're the big leagues. The clandestine, she spits. I knew we were undercutting them, but I thought we were insignificant enough to escape their notice. Suppose not. I'm a victim of my own successes. Well, we could try to lose them in the alleys, or we just stand and fight? I feel like our character's really more of a getaway than stand and fight type character. Let's lose them in the alleys. I do love the text here, though. You're outnumbered, outgunned, and surrounded in a city without a formal police force. Thankfully, it's violence o'clock. I almost want to click on that just for the writing. Alright, we run away. Uh-oh. Ludlow Way has a few winding side bridges, but every alley looms with dark figures. You only succeed in trapping yourself in a dead end. Huge men in black suits block your only exit. One of them raises his rifle, almost nonchalantly. There's a loud pop. A spurt of Char's blood jets across your face, and she falls. You just about manage to catch her before her face hits the street. She may or may not be dead, but she's certainly dead weight. Your surgeon is now unwounded. That's... what? Oh, maybe she was wounded and now she doesn't exist anymore, so she has lost the wounded state? Well, we hoist her over our shoulders and run for it. Failed the guts challenge. I'm having a rough day here. Carrying Char like a sack of potatoes, you take off running. But she's heavier than you expected. It's true, she's very dense is the thing. As you tire and slow down, a bullet catches you in the back, sending you sprawling. When you wake up, the thugs are gone. You crawl over to Char's side and find that she's alive too. Barely, and apparently unwounded. It's a long, desperate wait in the blood-slick gutter before a few good men stumble upon your slumped forms and take you to the hospital. You fall back into unconsciousness, at least this time nestled in clean white sheets. Your crew trickle in to visit you over the next few days. You and Char are lucky enough to have adjacent beds. She keeps you up with stories of her various adventures in the drug trade, most ending much more happily than this one. Yeah, well, I would expect. It complicates things, Char tells you later, after the bullet's been plucked from her shoulder. She seems woozy from the laudanum. That my lab's out of the picture, I mean. Along with my primary source of income and my most valuable alchemical supplies. Just years of effort. She sighs. I need some time to rethink. Well, that's inconvenient. Let's gather news, of course. We could visit Basilmoth and sell him some information. So yeah, Dread Machinations are worth reputation and considerably less money when given to information brokers, but reputation definitely seems potentially useful. Let's wander the bridges a bit. The consortium relies on mercenaries to guard its trade routes, and competition over a contract is fierce. You're minding your own business on Rosepike Bridge when an honest-to-goodness artillery shell blows the roof off of the building behind you. Yeah, we've seen this one before. The Sons of Vermin show up, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna do a violence. And then I'm like, no, listen, gentlemen. Nope, never mind. And then I got shot again. Well, at least we tried. it would have been out of character not to try. I need to cuddle my rhinoceros. This is the only way that this could possibly be going any worse, is if my rhinoceros had abandoned me as well. Let's see. Fortune Hall doesn't have anything that we need. Oh, we can sell our arms consignment? We probably should. I don't think we actually need it, and 310 seems like a good price, I think. Do we need these factory goods? We don't, right? I'm going to sell them. I don't think we actually have a use for these. And they're heavy. And here we could sell some animals, if only we had some animals. Okay, well, that could have gone better, but we're alive. I'd really like to get back to the City of Keys before we end the episode, so I think we're gonna push on a little bit here. We'll go to the City of Engines, then back up to the City of Keys. So south, and then straight southeast. And Cromlech just will not stop bothering us. Now that he's better, all of a sudden all he wants is attention. Except he's not really better. Probably what he wants is reassurance. He wants to believe in a world where he wakes up and he hasn't smeared his own feces all over the walls. And I can get that. That's what you call a desire that a man can commiserate with. Enter the cottage, persuade this guy to join our crew. Oh, it failed. We almost never... that might be the first time we've ever failed that. You try to calm him down, but the visitant screams and shoots Conrad Wright. Man, I feel like we've lost Conrad Wright more than once. That might be one of those things where he died and then we died and we had to reload. Alright, let's gather news. Easy enough. Wander the streets. Oh, we're descending. We need to evacuate. Got some unsettling conjecture. Okay, I figured that was going to be about the size of it. Spend time with the dog? Yeah. So I can't tell if we're getting... It looks like we're not getting the same amount of sanity back each time we interact with our pets, but I can't tell if one of them is, like, more effective than the other. I do wish that we got numbers more frequently. It's a big problem with this game relative to... in comparison to Sunless Skies, I feel like. In Sunless Skies, I feel like we saw numbers a lot. So we need to go... actually, if we just take a straight northeast line from here, it should be... should be fine. Everything should be fine. I'm glad that I don't have a camera. It's embarrassing enough that you all can hear it. I don't know why. Like, you would think at some point I would get used to it. But what I've learned about myself is that I have a remarkable ability to not get used to things. Hey, free indecipherable tone. So there are still a couple of kinds of currency that we are really desperate for that we've never seen any of. We're getting to the point now where we have like 4 things that require an undreamt treasure. And I have no idea where to get an undreamt treasure. I mean, that's kind of like the whole... The name implies that they should be fairly rare, right? Something most men haven't even dreamt of. Oh, this nonsense. I'm gonna try to hide everything. We're okay at Guile. I did it. Okay. Easy. Well, let's drop Lucy off at the station. She nods to you. If you ever change your mind, I'll happily join your crew as a chief engineer. Yeah, you owe us. She adjusts her hat, which is to say my hat, and wanders off into the heaving crowd, not looking back. She just took it. She just took the hat. That's not yours. It's fine. Whatever. Gather news. Let's visit our dwelling. First of all, we have poetry to write. You know how I feel about poetry. And then, yeah, we'll write an elegy, and I'm not going to write the other one, because I don't want to run out of currency. We do have a unique experience. Your magnum opus is 97% complete. Wait, what? Wasn't it? Huh, I thought I remembered that. I thought I remembered it being more complete than that last time. I don't know. Entertain a guest. You know what, let's invite Delgado over. I think we have some things to talk about. Or maybe Cromlech. Let's do Delgado. Such a beautiful home, exclaims Delgado as he wanders into your lodgings. It must hide all kinds of secrets. What can I expect to find here? A secret passage? A hidden laboratory? How do we access it? He begins tugging at the books on a bookshelf. It takes quite a while to convince him there's nothing to find. He sinks into an armchair, pale with shock and shaking his head. Well, we must build one, he declares. A headquarters without strange secrets is no headquarters at all. The rest of the evening is spent planning trapdoors, tunnels, and hidey holes. Well, that sounds like a delight. We didn't really get a lot out of that one, but it sounded fun. Okay, we'll drop off our car char. Hope whatever awaits them is better than what they left. Black market, I guess. We may as well. What do you have? Godsmoke, we certainly don't need. Witch's butter. Also don't need. Well, we should have checked. Selling. You know what? I will sell the Godsmoke. We need color dust for something, don't we? Oh, I don't know, actually. Apparently I didn't write anything down in my notes. You know what I didn't write down is... I feel like we needed color dust for something. Hold on. No, I wrote this down. Museum... Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we don't have a use for color dust? No, I guess not. Okay, well then, sure, I'll sell it. And I don't actually want the Godsmoke, I just wanted to pick it up to sell. We don't need toad skin anymore. We did the thing we needed toad skin for. Alright. And then, of course, we still have the money to make from the key details, which should be very, a pretty significant amount. We got out pretty far there, I think. Alright, well, we're doing okay. Wander the streets a little bit. Oh, the raised pistol thing. I will wrestle the pistol from her grip. Passed the guts challenge. I got a thrilling yarn. We've seen that one before as well. I don't think we need to change our crew up. I think we're in a pretty good place, crew-wise. We certainly don't need to pay guineas to rest and recover. I think we are good here. I think we've done everything we need to do. Do we want to... Oh, that's right, I can't sell anything, I was going to say. Do we want to drop anything off at the museum? I honestly don't. I think I want to try to wait until we have something beautiful. Oh, you know what? The blood-soaked monolith. We don't really have a use for one of these. But you know what? It's probably not a thing we're allowed to have. Like, it might make the museum illegal. I'm not gonna... We're just gonna stop there. Alright, we certainly don't need to buy fuel. We could afford to buy scurriers. We only have the Mark II scurriers, right? Scuttlers, my bad. Yeah, we may as well buy the scurriers. Right? Crosswords improved driver, is that the... Yes, that is the engine we have already. Can't buy a better engine here. But I will do this. Ooh, Mark IV Striders. We could buy those and still have a fair amount of money. Mark VI Skedaddlers. So, what I thought was a 1 on that last thing turned out not to be a 1. We ended up spending a little more than I thought we were going to. Let's go up to the Striders. 40%? Okay, yeah, that's a pretty good upgrade. And presumably these Mark VIs would be, like, really fast. And do we want another... I'm going to buy another boxcar. That leaves us with just barely enough money to buy the Golem Cannon, but we're not going in that direction anyway. By the time we are in position to buy the Golem Cannon, I'm sure we will have plenty of money. And, yeah, nothing particularly interesting to do here. We have an enchanted gimmick? Wait, are you sure? That doesn't sound right. I'm going to sell my Ancient Grimoire. I mean, it doesn't seem like it's worth selling a thing that only gives you 10 guineas, no matter what. Right? That's just not. That's not an amount of money that's worth me clicking the button for. All right, I think with that, we are going to call it here for today. Thank you all so much for watching. I do feel like we're making a lot of progress really quickly here. I still have no idea where we are in terms of the overall plot, though. This is Friday's episode, and usually I don't release stuff on the weekend, but there might be an episode this weekend because some stuff happened this week and there were only 4. I don't know. When you come back next time, sometime soon, we will hopefully be able to move a whole lot of our crew quests along pretty quickly. It seems like they're all sort of gathering up in the same area. And we'll see you then.